And happy Saturday. We have 7 college bowl games today. And as always, throughout all the bowl season, me and Ethan are previewing every single bowl game over here on Power 5 Picks, brought to you by Better and Green. Our first game up, we have the Birmingham Bowl in Birmingham, Alabama, between Duke and Troy. Duke is a 7.5 point underdog. Troy, the winners of the SunBelt this year, are the favorites, pretty big by more than a touchdown. Over-under sitting at 44.5. Ethan, glad to have you as always. Let's quickly talk about this game. This is kind of a gross game. Duke head coach is gone. Manny Diaz is the new head coach. The Penn State DC taking over the Duke head job. Duke pretty much lost their entire team. Quarterback is going. Riley Leonard's going to Notre Dame. I'm seeing the running back 1, running back 2, linebacker 2, safety 1, defensive tackle 1, cornerback 1, all opting out. So that's 7 starters for Duke out in this game, which is probably the reason why a very sneaky Troy team, again, 11-2, winners of the Sun Belt in the 2023 season, is a 7.5 point touchdown. What are your thoughts on this game? Again, these are super hard to predict, especially with, we have new coach, interim coach. There's no way Manny Diaz he's probably going to be on the sideline, but he's not calling anything. So an interim coach, half the team's gone. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, this game's tough. I'm going to side with Troy minus the 7.5. Couple of reasons here. Like you mentioned, Duke is missing a ton of their pieces, Riley Leonard being the main one, obviously. I just think Duke had bigger aspirations than what'd you call it, the Birmingham Bowl.
Yeah.
Just don't think they really care. They started out 4-0 before that tough loss to Notre Dame, where that game was kind of back and forth, could have gone either way. Dropped a couple more, Florida State, Louisville. All good losses, ranked losses. North Carolina later, Virginia, not a great one. But kind of just fell flat after that first loss to Notre Dame early in the year. So, yeah, just not really the season I think Duke was looking for. Obviously, like you said, a lot of the pieces that were a part of that team are not going to be playing in this game. So I do think we get somewhat of an effort out of Duke, but I'm going to lay it with Troy here. I think the 7.5 line is kind of telling. I think a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, let's grab Duke plus more than a touchdown. It's so easy." I think Troy. This is kind of unfamiliar territory for Troy. I believe it's their first bowl game since 2018. They really had a dominant year. I mean, they only lost to Kansas State and James Madison. James Madison, who was undefeated until that overtime loss to App State, their only loss of the season. So 2 losses there that aren't bad by any means. They only lost to James Madison by 2 points. So since then, they've rolled. Looks like they've won 10 straight games since starting 1-2 with those 2 losses. And yeah, like I said, first bowl game since 2018, kind of unfamiliar territory. I think their effort is going to be unmatched by Duke in this one. Duke doesn't really care. And the line is just kind of telling that it seems so easy to take Duke. So I'm going to lay it with Troy.
Yeah, this Duke team, if they have everyone playing, Duke's probably a 14-point favorite in this game. Unfortunately, they don't. So yeah, I'm agreeing. I'm going to take Troy at the +7 or -7.5. Again, 11-2 year, and I think we're going to see. With this new 16-team playoff coming up, or 12-team playoff, is it 16, 12-team playoff coming up? I think we're going to see a couple SunBelt champions sneaking their way into the college football playoffs. So I kind of think Troy is continuing to build momentum. Again, 11-2. They're kind of taking over the Sun Belt this year. I know last year they were close, but I think it's going to be between them and James Madison in the years to come. So I think this is a huge year for Troy. Kind of a shitty bowl. I think they kind of wanted a better bowl. 11-2, Sun Belt's a respectable conference. I think they could have gotten a better bowl. So I think they're just going to go in there. I think they're going to blow the doors off. So I'm going to take Troy at the 7.5. I'm also going to lean the under. No play on the total, but I would lean the under. I just don't think Duke's going to give much effort. I think we're going to see Manny Diaz on the sideline more than we're going to actually see any highlights from Duke on the field. So I like Troy quite a bit. I think they have, like you said, a lot to play for. Duke has absolutely nothing to play for. Also, Duke's already bringing in a bunch of guys signing and on the transfer portal. So I think even these second stringers are kind of getting a little nervous. Their jobs on the lines. I just don't know how motivated these guys. I think some of them might have already kind of, looking at other schools or entering the transfer portal as well. So I just see no effort from Duke. So I like Troy quite a bit. But again, we have 6 more games coming out, previewing the college football bowls. We do a short 3 to 5 minute preview every single game. Anything to close out before, again, not the greatest game today. This one does kick off at noon. It is one of the early games. So you might be watching it, but not the biggest game. You have anything to add before we close out here?
Nope. Yeah, bigger games to come.
Right. And yeah, make sure you check out our YouTube because we'll have every single preview and those are already out. So good luck today and hopefully you win all your bets. We'll see you next time.
You better start listening to the Better in Green podcast. You will not regret it. Trust me, trust me, trust me. And hey, I'm Dean Blandino.
Welcome to Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? Listen in and cash out. That's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover all spot from the bottom to the top. Hey, shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome to our podcast. Better in Green.